Yeah, Charles, I wanted to ask you with regard to the new normal, now that everybody is working from home, or now that everybody can work from home because of the needs of the management to say you guys don't come into the office and whatnot. The demand for office spaces would also not necessarily rebound that immediately. If, for instance, the office says, hey, okay, maybe this can also help with my cost savings. I can just rent a smaller space. I can rent out my units half to somebody else because my staff, not everybody needs to come back. Do you find that this may also lead to the new normal whereby the demand for other things, the change of spending behavior will also change? Before we started this conversation, I asked you with regard to your buying of late, and you were saying, you buy almost daily online, digitally online. So life is changing. Do you find this new normal of buying online better than, would you rather go to the market? Would you rather go to the shopping centers, fight for car park sometimes? Or would you continue using this digital buying methodology moving forward?
Yeah. So when we look at whether online will kill offline, we need to understand whether the online can substitute online offline totally. Right? For example, can online shopping totally replace malls? Right? Can or not? In some aspects, yes. For example, if you just buy goods, it can actually replace the malls. Right? It can. However, mall is not just there because you want to buy one thing or two things. The reason why malls evolve, and if you look at how malls evolve, nowadays there's a lot more food choices, F&B choices, right? This is one of the key reasons why people go to the mall. Because if they have a family of 4, for example, right, and they want to shop, to buy grocery, and to dine, as well as to play, for example, right? Mall is one place where everything is there under one roof, and you can go there as a family. It is not replaceable via online. So people always think that online is replacing the malls. Actually, it depends on whether malls evolve or not. If the mall have no entertainment outlet, right? No bowling, no karaoke, nothing. If the mall have no F&B, that means the usual F&B choices like the fast food only, right? And the rest are all goods that you can buy. T-shirts, pants, jeans, anything. The mall will die. Or the malls stop having those launching events where new things are launched, like a new smartphone, for example, which the salespeople can introduce it to you. You can hold it in your hand. You can actually touch it. Online cannot change this yet, cannot replace this, right? And this is the reason why online and offline are two very different things. And if you look at online shopping, actually online shopping in Malaysia is not, we are not considered a leader. Online shopping in China, for example, if when you buy a certain thing in the morning, it arrives in the afternoon. Do you know that? Right? It has evolved to such a way more advanced than us. If you buy something here today, now, like Shopee, they have a 24-hour. Even with the 24-hour, you will still receive your goods earliest the next day or the day after, because it depends on what time you order. In China, it's the same day already. Has all malls in China closed down? No. The malls are still surviving. The tenants are still having to pay high retail rental fee, still paying. So many people always say that online will kill offline. Actually, no. Unless the offline stop evolving. So you have nothing which is different from the online, yes, you will die. Even if you look at the malls, right? It is not the online which is killing the weaker malls, you know. It is the stronger malls which are killing the weaker malls. Right? And many people always fail to realize that. And you know, people talk about all this digital marketing, for example, right? So all the developers, they say that since now more people don't want to go to the sales gallery, therefore the digital marketing is going to be very important. Please understand, there are goods which online can replace totally. Example, buying a new shampoo. No problem. You pop, the brand comes up. Pop, someone doing the hair. Park, very attractive person, and then a very attractive introductory price. And then park that payment link. You can buy, right? No issues. If it's a car, 145,000, park, and then someone drive it very nice, and then the link for payment come out. You click and you buy the car, 145,000. Now, what happens if it's a 550,000 condo? Not even 550, maybe 350,000. First timer like me, long time ago, who have to think 6 months. Now you're telling me, I saw a video, I see a virtual tour, and I see a payment link, and I click and I buy a property of 350,000. Does it work? Think. Online cannot replace offline unless online can do whatever offline can do. And offline will not die unless offline fail to evolve. And online can do everything that the offline can do. Then it will die.
Right. I think precisely so, Charles. I think one of the key differentiation factors that you've been highlighting is the fact that offline is experiential. You touch,
Yes.
hear, your senses all get immersed, and you are also able to come together as a family and at the same time have individual experiences together as well. So during that period of time, so time spending and quality time. I think one of the things that during this CMCO period or MCO period has given us is the fact that we are able to spend more time with the family. And going back to a 9 to 9 job or 9 to 6 job whereby you take 2 hours to get and come home from work, it's going to be really tough when you've had this experience seeing the kids grow up, seeing and being around them when they need help, tucking them into bed. So this is going to be quite a change later on moving forward.
Definitely. So this would depend on the type of company that you work with, the kind of jobs that you work with. Unfortunately, not all companies will be suitable for working from home. And unfortunately, not everyone can also work from home because one word, productivity, right? Many people fail to realize that for small businesses, where they have a hiring of, let's say, 15 people, for example, 15 people in the company, productivity matters tremendously. If you can really control all the staff who are working from home and they can be very productive, yeah, sure, go ahead, you can work from home. But from my understanding, majority of all organizations, about 70% of all the employees are hired by SMEs. Now you tell me, can the SMEs manage their staff very well with all the equipment, with all the infrastructure, with all the control in place, supervision in place? Can or not? Or you still think they would need to be able to see their staff, supervise them, make sure they are doing the right things, and so on? Do not think that everyone is working in a technology kind of companies. Do not think all the companies who are hiring in Malaysia today are all very IT savvy, are all technology kind of companies, all technology kind of jobs. And do not think that everyone, I mean Malaysians, can actually work from home productively. Yeah, and this is the reason why working from home is not just, now everyone's working from home, therefore we can continue working from home. No, right? And even if you look at IBM, which was one of the very much earliest companies which allows people to work from home, if I'm not mistaken, they have already taken it back. So the staff would now have to report to the nearest office and work from there, because it's not just a productivity actually. For example, let's say me and you, we are working in the same team, right? Suddenly, I just want a 2-minute conversation with you. I can just walk to your desk and say, "Hey, Ernest, come. This one, and this one, and we can immediately make a decision." I can immediately go and continue with my conversation with the customer, for example. Now imagine working from home. I don't even know where you are. I don't even know if you don't pick up the call. Is it because you didn't hear, or is it because you were doing something, or is it, there's so many probabilities that can happen. And all these would definitely affect productivity. And 70% of everyone is hired by SMEs. We need to understand this. Yeah.
So Charles, can I ask you, if for instance what you're saying, 70% of all people who are hired actually by SMEs, and if for instance everybody gets back to work, meaning SMEs all open, the economy is okay, then I think normalization, although it may take time, then it just is a matter of time before we get back to that spot that we had before we went down. But if the SMEs are not able to hang on, then would that cause a lot of disruption in the labor market? And if that's the case, then would that also cause disruption in terms of property buying and demand for property?
Yes. So you see our Prihatin, right? The Prihatin is all aimed at trying to keep every businesses alive. That is the aim of Prihatin. It was not there to make you prosper or make you profitable. Actually, that one is just to sustain and keep you alive. The moratorium is another measure. It will not make you rich or make you a multi-millionaire, but it gives you that breathing space until the end of September. So assuming normalization starts from June, right, after our CMCO is over, let's say it started slowly in June, and then in July it started slightly more, and in August even more. By September, hopefully a lot of the people, a lot of the SMEs can now operate at sufficient capacity to continue hiring their people. And that it was the reason for moratorium. This is like a sustaining, don't allow you to go bankrupt kind of measure. No one knows whether the SMEs can survive or not. Actually, no one knows, right? Because even normalization, if you look at how it's been going on, I think it's quite slow, right? Even the so-called restaurants which can be open, the number of people, the patrons in the restaurants are very few, right? But at the very least, what we are seeing is that people do go to the restaurants, like this morning, I went to buy some food. Actually, in the restaurant that I went to, there were 6 to 8 people already in the restaurant, sitting down and eating. And when I was paying, someone was also paying and said, I'm sitting at that table over there, which means that they are coming out. But how fast can this be? That is everyone's guess, right? This is precisely the reason why, if you look at demand will still continue. But if you ask when will the demand be coming back very strongly, I cannot answer you. Yeah, I really cannot answer you. If the question is whether would demand disappear, demand will not disappear. But when will it come back? Yeah, that is, I think, the question that you may want to ask some economists, or financial analysts or whoever. Yeah.
Charles, I just wanted to touch base with you with regard to your investments in properties. Can I spring forward you in terms of what do they represent to you right now? Now that you're a father of some children, you are also looking at, okay, what happens if I choose to retire, or if I like this lifestyle where I don't want to work so hard anymore? What does this portfolio of properties that you've invested in represent to you? Can you share some of your philosophical thoughts?
Correct. So if you look at working professionals, I think it's more important for us to look at property investment as a very long-term kind of investment, where you do not need to think about should I sell and profit. If you have that thought whether you should sell or you should take profit, for example, the capital appreciation should have already been a lot. Like, for example, if you bought at 247,000 and you sold at 640, no need to ask, sell, right? Take the money and do something else. However, if you look at property investment, where every year your investment goes up a couple of thousand, then it should be a long-term decision. So what happened is that, for example, me and my wife, we already agreed that what we will give to the children is education. And of course, if possible, one property, which if they don't like the property, they can sell it later on, not now, when they are old, when they are, when they have graduated, they can stay at that house or they can sell it off and they do something else. It's up to them. But property is like a education fund that we are saving. So instead of the usual every month put aside some money for the education fund, this property is the education fund. Yeah. And then if you are looking at us retiring, then yes, what we intend to do is that when we retire, we don't want that many hassle anymore. right? So perhaps at that time, we may just own one home that we have, and then the rest all we will just liquidate it and we'll do something else. But we won't hold on to the properties at that time. Currently, it is still continuously building up the portfolio. Yeah. And diversify a little bit as well. Yeah.
Charles, can I ask you, the day that you bought your first property to today, how long a time frame was that? How long has that been?
First property was when I was 26 years old. 26. Today I am 43. So that is like 17 years. Yeah.
So Charles, if you had this magic wand today, with the knowledge today, you could go back when you were 26 years old and you met yourself, what would you have told yourself knowing what you know now? What would you have said?
I would have doubled my current property numbers. I would have doubled. Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Would you tell yourself different advice?
Yeah.
Other than double?
No. Yeah, so for me, I'm always looking at it from a working professional per se. So I'm not in the property investment so that I can become a multi-millionaire overnight, right? I think property investment, if you look at it as a long-term kind of thing, it allows you to do a lot of things, right? Even if after you have invested for, let's say, 15 years, for example, and you realize, hey, I don't really like my current job. Perhaps I just want to take a break. Actually, you can take a break as well, right? Property is something which, if you can sell one property and then you can take the money and you can take some break, rather than I hate my boss, but I have no choice, but I still have to work, right? If you think of it as a hedge against all this, property investment is a really good hedge against many things. Yeah.
Okay. Last question, Charles, because I don't want to hang on to you for too long. Are you in the mode of buying right now, stopping right now, pausing right now? Are you on the lookout? What's your present situation?
The opportunity has to come, right? So for example, very good example, if the area which I like, right, I found a property which is 30% below the market, right, below the transacted prices, and I like the property, yes, it will still be a go ahead. Yeah. But if you ask me, would I feverishly look for properties right now? No lah. And to be frank, no, not really, right? So if the opportunity has to present itself, really looking into, not really, because to me, I'm still looking at it from a working professional kind of perspective, right? So as I think the first thing is still to make sure I have a job, make sure that the money keeps coming in, and if there's opportunity, definitely I will try to grab it. At the moment, however, I think I'm more towards the stock market. Yeah.
So basically right now, so for real estate, it's more in terms of when the opportunity presents itself as opposed to chasing after all the deals.
Yes.
Okay. Charles, last comment that I wanted to share with you, what advice do you have for anybody who wants to get involved in this real estate for the first time? What advice do you have to give them right now?
Yeah, I think the if you look at the 4 wives and 1 husband, right? Everyone make the decision based on 4 wives and 1 husband. Don't look at the when. Don't look at the when. Seriously, when the whole market is hot, that is not the right time. When the whole market is not hot, you may feel scared, right? Don't look at what people say. Hey, Charles, actually buying landed is way better than high-rise. Frankly speaking, look at GPPH data and you understand that high-rise is the second best investment return, losing only to terrace. All the rest, high-rise has beaten them, right? And don't look at the where, because usually the most hottest hotspot is already priced at a peak already, right? You ask 10 people, give you 3 names, it will always be that usual 3 names, right? And when the whole market already knows that 3 names, there's no opportunity already. However, if you look at why, now the why is very important, because if the market is up very high, however, one property next to your mother-in-law is up for sale. Do you buy or do you not buy? You will have to buy, right? Because there's not going to be another opportunity to buy beside your mother-in-law who can cook great dinner, delicious dinners for you, right? If you are looking to upgrade, now they say it's the buyer's market. Actually, it is the buyer's market. This is the time when, if it's a secondary property, you call the owner and you ask for some discount, the owner will say, let me think about it. Just go back a couple of years, let's say 2012. If you were to go to a secondary market, you call the owner and you say, can I have a 5% discount? The owner will hang up. You realize or not? This is a different market, right? This is also the time when you go to the developer, you love that particular property, but you just want a sweetener. This is the time you can ask for a sweetener, right? Probably a few air cons, probably a kitchen cabinet. Yeah. The developer is now willing to talk to you. Now, go back a few years, the developer may not even want to talk to you. Next customer, please, right? So the why is very important. What is the reason you want to buy? And if you say, hey, I want to have a continuous rental, then look at rental first and then only look at the property. Don't look at the property first, then only look at rental, right? When I buy, I have no way to do research. Today, when you buy, you have so many ways to do research. Go to StarProperty, for example. Look at all the for rent property first, then only go at for sale price, right? This is how you can actually understand the why and whether you should proceed or not. Don't look at the other W's, yeah. And then after you understand the why, then you look at the how to proceed, whether it's through a loan, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with Parma Bank. That is later on. The how is later, but the why must meet first. Yeah.
Charles, thank you so much. Those are very, very deep, insightful, thoughtful, and powerful insights. I think for all listeners out there and viewers out there, you definitely not want to miss any of the points that Charles raised, because not only has he shared this, he's actually shared his game plan and his book on how to make it to become a successful property investor for the long term. I again want to emphasize, it's not a short-term game. It's not a game whereby within 6 months you're going to make your millions. This is a game. It takes time, it takes strategy, it really takes commitment. And knowing your why is the most fundamental thing that you need to have first before you even start.
Yes.
Charles, thank you so much again for your time. I really, really appreciate your time, and I look forward to our next catch-up. So thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Take care.